All right, so I'm watching this video for Sneako. I'm not going to edit none of that. These are quick reactions, you feel me? Maybe it'll end up being a long one because this video is kind of long, but Dave Chappelle gave me this $100 bill to teach me a lesson reaction video. You feel me? Straight like that. It's Sneako. If you don't know who he is, now you know. Watch his videos, son. Sneako is a good YouTuber. You feel me? He got 781 likes, 4 dislikes, 5,217 views. And if you're black, I'm pretty sure you know who Dave Chappelle is. And Dave Chappelle is like you're more than, if you're black, you're more than likely a fan of Dave Chappelle for the most part. Not everyone, you know. I can't say everyone, but most people are probably fans of Dave Chappelle. Let's get into this. Sneako's working out. He's mad
Today, I'm
skinny.
going to tell you the story.
Nigga's mad skinny. I'm almost certain he's skinnier than me. He's probably has an inch. He's like an inch taller than me, but he's skinnier than me.
Of how I met Dave Chappelle, and he gave me this $100 bill.
Dave Chappelle gave you a $100 bill and signed it.
Dave Chappelle. And over here it says match.
Much love.
Match leave. It took me a while, but it says much love. You know what I'm saying? So I find this link for comedy tickets that says
I'd frame that shit.
smoking comedian will be performing tonight, and the password to get in to the website was GOAT. It can only be one person, but I've been talking to a lot of YouTubers about this, and they don't really seem aware. Like, Dave Chappelle is probably the best comedian of all time. He's like at such.
I agree 100%. Dave Chappelle is the best comedian of all time in my eyes, especially as a black person. You know, maybe white people won't say that. Maybe white people will say some white person, or they'll say someone else. They won't say, a lot of white people probably wouldn't say Dave Chappelle, but as a black person, personally, I feel like Dave Chappelle is one of the funniest comedians alive, and I can relate to almost every single joke, and every single joke that he makes is just hilarious to me, and it's so different from other comedians. Like he just hits a different like chord that other comedians can't hit.
Such a legendary status that it's like he's been dead for a long time. He's literally a living legend. It's weird. It's weird to see him in person. And he's aware of this. The first thing he said when he got on stage was, I was walking up here and I thought, you must be thinking, wow, this is crazy to see me. So yeah, we waited in line early. We got our good seats like right in the center towards the front. We're second row, probably about 6 feet from the front of the stage. And we sit down, my dad's ready, he's ordering his drinks, and I leave. I say I'm gonna go take a piss, but what I'm really doing is finding some cigarettes, because I've noticed that every time he does a show, there's always a moment where he's like, hey, you want to get a cigarette? And then people are like, Usually he only performs in theaters, in like giant venues. This is rare to be able to see him in a room of maybe 150 people. I performed on the stage that I saw him at. That's how small it is. So I run, it's in Union Square, I'm asking the chess players who I usually, like, you could buy a Lucy from, they're not doing it. I go to the OC doesn't have any. I have to go like 3 blocks away to a smoke shop. I buy a pack of Marlboro Lights and come back, I'm sweating, and my dad's like, did you just take a shit? Like, where did you go? I'm like, just don't worry about it. I just told him, just don't worry about it. The show starts.
You gotta be a real man. A real man, you don't explain too much. I just had to do what I had to do. You feel me?
He had this Comedy Central deal to make the 3rd season of the Chappelle Show, and he just disappeared for 7 years. He went to Africa. People said he was a crackhead. He disappeared. It was like he was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, everyone knows
so
this.
As soon as he gets on stage,
except for like little kids, you know. Compared to me, Sneako is younger. I think he's like 2 years younger than me. He's probably like what, 21 or something. Everyone your age and up knows this. Only people who are like 18, 19 probably still don't know this, but for the most part, I feel like everyone knows this.
White girl comes and stands right in front of me because I'm in the second row in the center, and she just stands up and like goes like this. Hi, I'm Crystal. Like this. Like she's looking at Jesus. Like her body language was, you could fuck me right now. That's what she was doing. Security takes her out. That set the tone for the show. Like at this point,
so
like I know
weird.
that they always say they're supposed to see stand-up comedy live, but I prefer watching his specials because he doesn't need to do material anymore. It's enough to pay $200 just to see Dave Chappelle. He doesn't really have to perform with the same pressure that other comedians do. He doesn't really.
Bro, he could really just talk about his day. Talk about going to the store. Talk about going to get something to eat, and niggas would just eat it up. I feel like at this point.
Need to show
He's
up.
a legend.
But there were so many other great, like he brought Marlon Wayans, Chris Rock, Jon Stewart. It was so surreal to be like in a room with all those people at the same time. Questlove was sitting in the back, and I'm like, yo, what's up, Questlove? He's like, what's up? I'm leaving at the end of the night, John Stewart's with a badass bitch. I'm like, yo, peace out, John. He's like, all right, man, have a good one. I'm like, that's John Stewart. It's hard not to be starstruck in those moments. And then inevitably, halfway through Chappelle's performance, the moment comes where he's like, anyone got a cigarette? Boom, catch throw. Boop. Just like that. And afterwards, people were like, was that staged? That was perfect. It was perfect. I had it ready on the table the whole night. I'm just clutching this thing. I'm just waiting for that. So as soon as he said, we're gonna catch immediately. And then he does this song about Marlboro Lights. I don't really get it. I mean, I'm Gen Z. Most of comedy audiences are all old. I was by far the youngest person there. He's singing this song about Marlboro Lights. I don't really get it. And then when he's done, he's just leaving the pack on the table near the DJ. I'm like, are you just gonna take the whole pack? I thought he was just gonna take one and give it back. And then a couple people laugh. It's a little bit awkward. He's like, who said that? And then like people are pointing at me. He's like, young man. He looks right in my eyes. He's like, young man, take this. Reaches into his pocket, gives me this $100 bill. Take this, and let this be a lesson of kindness. No, let me do it in Chappelle. Young man, and let this be a lesson of kindness. Just like how you gave me a cigarette when I asked for it, I'll give you a $90 profit on it. And remember to be kind. Or you could spend it on some pussy. And people are like, pussy. It's weird because like he said that he made this whole thing about kindness and then did 30 minutes of trans jokes. But yeah, that's besides the point. After the show ends, I want to get an autograph on this thing. Like I just had an interaction with, literally to put it in perspective, my last commentary, Dave Chappelle's in the thumbnail. Like the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was a stretch. That was me like using his face for clickbait. I feel like it should be understood, but I was talking to YouTube friends and they don't like, oh, who's that? So anyway, after the show, I'm like, I need.
Your generation is weird. Your generation is weird. If you legit have friends who say who's that on your thumbnail, and that's Dave Chappelle, and they know who the other person is, bro. I barely even know who that shucks whatever his name is guy is. I don't watch his comedy. I've seen him with what's his name, Charlemagne the God. I've seen some of his videos here and there, but like I don't fuck with him like that. I fuck with Dave Chappelle way more. Your generation is weird, but that's because your generation probably, you know, when y'all came, Dave Chappelle was already like on the way out. You feel me? Like y'all, a lot of y'all probably didn't see Half Baked, or like I was like probably like 13 when that movie came out, or like 12, and I watched it. I was watching Half Baked as a youngin. You feel me? I was watching Dave Chappelle as a youngin. You feel me? Your generation kind of missed that. So I see why they say that, but they're bugging. They're absolutely bugging.
I need to get an autograph. So I'm like grabbing people's check pens and I get up on the stage. I'm like, yo, please autograph it. He tries autographing it and it's a pen. It's not that good and it's scribbling. He almost gave up and I'm like, nah, come on, give me an autograph. And he gives it and he writes much love. And then afterwards, after the show, there was an after party downstairs and I have to go. My dad went home because he's old and he needs to sleep.
Please, I would love to hear that you had an actual conversation, because the way you're just fangirling and idolizing him in this video, you really needed a conversation with Dave Chappelle. I would really like to hear or see Dave Chappelle's reaction to your work. We should have that happen. Like you should link up with Dave Chappelle and have him react to your work. I would personally, if I could make that happen, I'd make it happen.
But I needed to go to see that show. So I was able to Sneako my way in. I know a couple people at the door. There's this one lady, the manager hates me there, and she was like trying to like not get me in there. But I was able to.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm saying? Just
okay.
Dust it off. There was one moment she's like,
Wipe that dust off your shoulder.
Don't come downstairs. We're still like trying to see if everyone.
Your generation probably don't even know that song. That's a Jay-Z song. Gotta get that dust off your shoulder. You got, you feel me? I forgot how it go exactly. It's been a while since I heard it, but Beyonce was dancing in that, and that was young Jay-Z.
I was able to, you know what I'm saying? Just dust it off. There was one moment she's like, don't come downstairs. We're still like trying to see if everyone is, and then she's like walking away. She's looking over here. I see the entrance. I see her looking away, and I just walk inside the fucking thing. And then Donnell Rawlings is on the microphone. There's like 50 people down there. There's food, there's drinks, there's all these comedians, there's all the celebrities that were at the show. And I'm eating and I'm dancing, like, you know, just having a good time, trying to enjoy the party. And then there's Dave Chappelle standing on the stage still after the show. And there's like 50 people. I'm trying to like, they're playing all the music that I listen to at every other party. Like fucking Biggie, Dreams of Nightmares, and I'm rapping it. Like, I used to wait for times like this to rhyme like that. I see Dave Chappelle up on the stage. It's a matter of time I spit on some locked up shit. And he's like, we're, you know what I'm saying? Like there's, it's just so, I do this at college parties and it's him, you know? And I'm trying not to look at him too much because I'm just trying to be a part of the party. And you know, like you don't want to engage
But you're
with
looking
celebrities
at
too
him.
much, but at the same time.
You're side-eyeing and glancing at him. Yeah, I know what you're doing, you weirdo. You fucking weirdo. You But who wouldn't though? That's Dave Chappelle. Like, and I can see how much you idolize him just by watching this video. I can see it in your face, the passion, and how much love you have from him. Just looking at your face right now, even in this, you could see. Like, look at how his face is. He's literally smiling right now, just talking about it. You can see it in his face.
Like he's standing on the stage even after the show. Like he likes it. He likes the attention. He likes the limelight. That's him in his element, is this being the center of attention. There were a couple times where I wanted to go up to talk to him. I mean, I kind of did. I talked to him for like half a second. Like he's on stage and I go up to the front. I don't remember what I was about to say. I start saying something and then this girl comes up and starts like trying to dance on me. And then there's this moment in my head like, do I continue this conversation with Dave Chappelle or do I let this girl grind on me? And I go to the girl.
You dance on the girl, because Dave Chappelle is going to think you sus and you gay if you keep talking to him and you dubbed as a girl. So you dance with the girl. That's what Dave Chappelle would have done. Maybe that's what I don't know.
And then I'm dancing with the girl. And there was a fan there, and I hear the fan's drunk as fuck. He got kicked out later on. And I hear him say from the back, he says, hey, that could be you, Dave. Dave, that could be you right now. Come on. Why would you do that? Well, why would you do that? And then he got kicked out, and then the girl got kicked out too by the lady who didn't want me to get in. So the night's almost over. I talked to his wife for a bit, and it's funny because she's Filipino, and their kids, Dave Chappelle's kids, look like exactly like me. So I go up to his wife, and I'm like, I kind of look like your son, right? And she's like, yeah, you can say that about most mixed kids. All right, fine. Whatever. So go up to Dave, and I'm like, hey, what you did, that was a really big moment for me. I really appreciate what you said. I'm a new comedian. This is the first stage that I ever did a show on. So just what you said, that really resonated with me. I really appreciate that. And he nods. The lady who didn't like me pushed him away from me so I couldn't have more of an interaction. And then that's it. And then I have this $100 bill and I have the memory. And I don't really know what to take away from it because that's what I wanted. That's why I went to the show. I wanted to have an interaction with him. I wanted to have that moment. I wanted to be able to, because he's more than a comedian at this point. He's like
You wanted to suck his. No, let me stop. That's instantly where my head is going. The New Yorker and me, I just feel the meat riding energy that Sneako is having right now in this video. Is on a different level, yo. But no, this is real love. He's just showing love. But a lot of New Yorkers would say this is heavy meat riding energy. But this is Dave Chappelle, so it's understandable.
Philosopher. People coming just to see him, and like that's when he's at his best. Is just when he's completely engaged in a story or in the moment or telling a lesson, or he's like the old wise man now who comes and goes, and like those, he's like a Dumbledore, you know. And I've been looking for like a deeper meaning than what I got, but I guess it's just as simple as being kind and to spread that type of kindness. You know, the energy that you put out.
That's a good lesson for you. And a lot of your fans say you got too much ego, blah blah blah, all of this nonsense that they be saying. You feel me? They be talking a lot about you. I see some comments in some of the videos or whatever. Or I watched one of your videos where you said they talk about you on Reddit and how he has so much ego, blah blah blah. It's just nonsense. Disregard that. But you see, his message to you was be kind. I feel like that's a message that's universal for everyone, but it's still a good message regardless, because you're going to be you feel me? You're going to be a star. You have 912K subscribers. You're going to hit 1 million eventually regardless. And you're going to keep growing. You're going to get bigger. You're going to be a star. I'm pretty sure most people can see it. Hopefully you don't lose yourself. Hopefully you keep that message and you be kind. You feel me? Show kindness, especially when you're up at the top.
Comes back to you. This whole manifestation thing is being talked about a lot, but there's something true to that. What energy you put out, you'll get back. So if you're kind, people will be kind to you. That was like a main character moment. I felt like the main character. That was one of the most protagonist moments of my life. Oh, by the way, Patreon supporters are like, oh, I already heard this. I told the same story on Patreon already. So if you want to hear stories early, you gotta get on the Patreon.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good off that. Yeah, I can have that shit early. I really don't care. I'm not doing no Patreon. I'm not a thought like that. I'm not a fan like that. But I do subscribe to your shit and I like your video, you feel me? But I need my money to continue focusing on my shit right now. Once I have money to spare, like just random money to spare maybe, but I really don't feel like I need to be on anyone's Patreon. I'm just not a fan like that. That's the only reason I don't do it. But I support you though. Just not monetarily with physical money. That's all.